Hey everybody, this is the LEGO NEXO Knights Twinfector set. It has a splitting function, which is no surprise. It has a transforming function, which is nothing new in and of itself. LEGO does that all the time. But the way that it does splitting and transforming is unique, and I think uniquely cool. Now let me get the basic stuff out of the way first. This is essentially a tricycle. You've got a wheel here that's smooth, hard plastic. Then you've got a couple wheels back here, one on either side. They are knobby and they are gunmetal gray, one of my favorites. And then you have two seats. So this is kind of the main driver's seat, main rider's seat, I guess. I can call it a driver over here. And then this is a passenger who has a spot to hold on to a shield. And then each of the characters that is on the vehicle has their own weapon, their own personal weapon, their own accessory, and one of those can be attached here. The other one can be attached just on the underside. The clip is just flipped over there. And that's basically it with this. You have a couple of shooters, one on either side. I think that these shooters actually look good with the new little, what do they call those, tech critters, little infection virus spider things, when they're actually attached. Like, I don't think those things look all that great by themselves. But here, it just adds a nice amount of texture that looks like they would be like cooling lines or coils or something kind of around the barrel of a weapon. So I don't like the idea of shooting this off. I like the idea of keeping it on there. That's just to me personally. It looks so much better to have that on there. I fully expect from this that LEGO will recolor these to some strange color, dark tan or something, and then include like 100 of them in a modular building in the future, just using them for an interesting new texture because they can. I think it'll actually work pretty well. But there's no suspension action here. The cockpit has a windscreen on it that I think is decent, and it's easy to just turn that forward. You have a little console with just a single sticker there. That looks pretty good too, I think. But that's pretty much it for this thing in its standard form. You already see that there are a couple of connections back here that can turn. So that's where it gets into the transformative feature. And to really access that, I'm going to have to show you the splitting feature as well at the same time. This is, oops, cut, try again. This is pretty straightforward, and I don't like that right there. Seeing the blue pieces, they stick out like a sore thumb. Not good. You can use this as a bike now if you want. You can use this as a bike, kind of, if you want. That's why they put these things on the undersides that I just accidentally broke one off. They're just to help hold the thing up a little bit. It doesn't work really well, to be honest with you. It doesn't work well at all. But that's not what you're supposed to do, per se, with these. You're supposed to turn this like so. And then turn this like so. As a hover bike. This thing would actually be kind of flying, or at least it would be in ground effect. But I think it would be able to fly. So that's one. That's more like it. And then this one also rotates just the other way around. And then this does that. Now this can spin like this to be some sort of made up, energy generating device. And you can also bring the wings down if you want, like so. Those look pretty nice. A little different shaping there. Gives me a little bit of feeling of the bad guys from Mars Mission. With their colors, they went with lime green, but this is going with bright green, trans-bright green instead, but it's kind of close. So that works. Whether you put the wings down or not, I think it works a lot better than just having them on the ground. So now you have two complete vehicles. Each one has a shooter. Each one accommodates a figure and their associated accessories. Now here's the fun part for me. I took them apart from this sort of formation where the purple-haired person was in my left hand. I'm going to put them back together the opposite way, because you can. Go ahead and turn this this way, and this way. Hide those ugly blue axle pins. This thing has just been mirrored. That is not something that you see very frequently from LEGO. There's usually a left and a right, or a top and a bottom. You can split them apart You can change the shape of each, but this is cool because if you get 2 of these sets, I'm not saying that's a major thing that most people are going to do, but if you get 2 of them, then you can start to play with them in different ways and transform them in different ways. There's not quite enough room here, unfortunately, with these things on the back to start stacking them just side to side, a bunch of them, and you would need to take the large wheel off to get them to really start to fit together and potentially have this out of the way. But you can see kind of where it's going. And what I like about that is that it really goes with this theme and this idea of the kind of future digital tech constructs, really, where things would be able to take themselves apart, reconfigure, adapt to different situations, potentially replicate themselves, It's really like being in a digital world. And this is the type of thing that you would expect to see in a digital world. And it seems more appropriate for something so futuristic as NEXO Knights, even though it has that classic castle attachment. It seems more appropriate to me as a thing to go against than your traditional orcs and such. The bad guys in this set are Pola on the left, P-O-L-A. Not really a bad guy, it's a female character. On the right is Fred. I'm not kidding, Fred. His name, his official name is Fred. That's funny. I am looking forward to the brand of humor that they're going to be going for in this new season when a character of this size is called Fred. I could see if they just used one of the little miniature bots and gave it a comically simple and pedestrian name, but somebody of this substance to have that kind of name, that's my kind of humor. I'm looking forward to this for sure. The weapon there does have a Nexo power. The bad guys get to use Nexo powers in this. That is gamma rays. That is not a new one. Let me go ahead and take that shield away. That is the newer style of shield specific to year 3. I like what they've done with the armor and the helmet for these bad guys and girls. The helmet by itself does not give good coverage of the back of the head of the figure, but when you use the upper armor like that, then it all works together. Without the armor, you see way too much of the alternate face with that helmet. Way too much. The prints on the torsos, I think, work fine. Happy that they used gender-neutral torsos for these because they didn't need to add in, artificially exaggerated waistlines. It works perfectly well for male and female characters alike. And let me go ahead and reveal fully the remainders of their faces. Vampire style looking thing here. I like the face on the left as that nice visor array on it and a little bit more circuitry. And there are the alternates. Yeah, I like both of these faces pretty much equally. They're interesting to me, to say the least. Really looking forward to seeing how these characters behave in the show. I hope they don't disappoint me. The good guys in this set get just one figure, and that's it. This is a Season 5 variation of Aaron with all the new gold and a pretty strong V design with the new armor piece there. And all the gold is pearl gold except for the Murloc power, which has the painted metallic gold on it. I think that all goes together well. That power there is scannable, and it is called the crossbow of Murloc, of course. Speaking of crossbow, the bow itself for Aaron doesn't work all that well with the shield. It's kind of like you use one or the other at a time. Of course, Aaron tends to like to use his shield as a hoverboard, so you can still do that. But, this is just really bulky, and it's also heavy, so the whole figure is very front heavy. Can't really get it to stand with all this stuff on unless it's on a studded surface or has the bow kind of touching the ground by just angling it down. He has an extra bolt, just one spare bolt on the back. Let me start taking some of this stuff off. So there's a better look at the figure with just the armor. Lets you have a little better understanding of the shaping that they've created for the whole thing and not just the individual piece. And there's a full look at all of the details of the torso, which I like. There's a lot of depth there. This is the second Season 5 set, Year 3 set that I reviewed. The first one had clay in it, and I like this one much better. I also especially appreciate the print on the gold hip piece and the pearl gold hands. Yes, indeed. It's a standard double-faced head for Aaron. A little bit light on the application of gold there. You just, if the light isn't shining off it, it just doesn't have a lot of opacity. It's kind of like you can see the green through it, but if the light does get to hit it right, then you still get that nice sheen. So still overall, I think it's pretty good. Just needs a little more of that gold ink or paint to be applied. It's kind of the same on the front, but the legs are better. So far, so good, I'd say, for NEXO Knights. It's definitely looking up for Year 3. I think Year 2 was severely held back, hampered by a poor choice of colors. I fully understood the choices they went with, but felt like they just made all of the builds on the bad guy side just not look good. And some of the NEXO Knights actual things, especially bringing in all the green, especially the stuff for Aaron, was not looking good to me. But so far, I'm liking the Year 3 sets. Of course, there are more sets to come, and thus there are more reviews to come. So thanks for watching this one, and I hope you will check out some more in the future. In which case, I'll talk to you again soon.